Number 1 is gonna be buff your whole team with 1 potion. As a first step, you want to unchain your group and gather your team in kind of a tight square position. Then once you're tight enough, you open your menu, select your favorite potion. Here we're doing it with a potion of speed. You right click, throw, and you try to aim right in the middle of your group until everything is targeted. And then you have your whole team buffed by the health potion, which can be useful before a fight. Note that it also works with elixir. Here was doing it with the poison resistance. It works just exactly the same way. Once you do it, you have your buff until long rest, as you can see here on the left of the screen. Number 2, we're gonna stay in the domain of buffing your whole team. Now we're gonna do it with cutting your team's weapon with poison and toxin. And for this we're gonna throw the toxin on the ground in your camp. This has the benefit that basically this pool of toxin will stay forever in this camp layout. Now we're gonna dip the weapons in it. Just select dip the action, click on the pool, and then you are coated in whatever toxin. Note that it also works on your ranged weapon, so you just swap your weapon and also dip your bow in it. Now we can check that you are indeed coated in whatever toxin, and this will last until the next long rest. Now we're gonna call the rest of the team to do the same. Here we are with Shadowheart. Shadowheart's gonna dip our melee weapon, and here she is coated in whatever toxin. Doing the same for the bow, and you can do the same for the rest of the team. Another buff that you can use is the longstrider ritual, which doesn't use a spell slot. Longstrider gives you an extra 3 meters of movement speed, which is especially useful in combat. You can just cast it on your team after a long rest and it's gonna stay until the next one. If you don't have a character with longstrider, just get a Highlander to do it for you. Now for a small technical tip, we're gonna see how you skip Larian's launcher when starting the game. Right click on the game to properties, you have a small window here with launch options, and you just type this --skip -launcher and you're good to go. Number 5, you can resurrect monsters with Glut in the Underdark.
Silence!
Here we did it with the Face Spider Matriarch, which is a boss that you fight in the caverns under the village. To get her here, you have to push her in the green hole in the middle, and then you can just come here with Glut and resurrect her. You can see that she's pretty cute, and you can then control her and make her fight, for example, Minotaurs. Just biting Minotaurs, and then you can fight the bullets as well. And you can even make her fight the spectator. Now you cannot resurrect the spectator because it's not the proper kind of monster, but you can resurrect the bullet. The bullet is a monster as well. It's gonna help you clear the Dwargar camp like nothing. You look at it jump, it's incredible. Maybe you've noticed when killing merchants that you don't get all of their loot. That's because you have to knock them out instead. To do this, you just toggle non-lethal attacks in your passive bar, and then you have to knock them out with a melee attack. That's really important. It won't work with a spell, for example. And when you loot them, you can see that there are many more things that if you kill them instead, and this includes things that you had previously sold them. Don't you worry, they're just knocked out and they won't hold a grudge, they will be back and friendly after the next long rest. Sometimes you can find NPCs that have a trade icon on the minimap, marking them as merchants, but when you talk to them, you don't have a trading dialogue. In those cases, you can just go to the bottom left corner and click on the trade button, which will open the trading interface, and there you are, you can trade with Baldur. Yet another trading tip, you can sell everything at once that you have marked previously as wares. Here we're doing it, for example with Girl's Sever Hand. Some more stuff. And then you trade with a merchant, you go from barter to trade. At the bottom of the screen you will see a sell wares button, and if you click, everything that you marked as wares will be sold. You can see that now the trader's inventory includes poor Girl's Hand. Now for a quick one, gold has weight and it can really add up if you don't pay attention. It weighs approximately 1 unit of weight for 1000 gold, and you don't really need all that gold on yourself to begin with. I suggest that you keep around 5k and send the rest to camp. Something else that you can and should store in the camp chest are the camp supplies. Camp supplies are the food that you need for a long rest, and usually it's found on yourself in the supply packs on your team, but if you just send all of those things to the camp chest, it's gonna pop up automatically in the interface and you just don't need to carry them around at all time. Here I'm sending everything that I've got on my team to the camp chest. You can see that those ones have nothing on them, and when I'm going to trigger another long rest, it's gonna take everything automatically from the camp chest and put them here, saving yourself some weight. Number 11, if you want to resurrect your allies with a potion throw, just don't throw them directly at them, but instead throw the potion on the ground near them. Here you can see that my barbarian's Tavern Brawler applied during the throw, and I actually killed the poor friend that I wanted to resurrect. So, proper way to do it is to throw it near them and not at them. Number 12, you can cancel your concentration spells with a single click. Here we're casting Cloud of Daggers, our favorite concentration spell. Who never had a friendly NPC die after a fight because they forgot to cancel the Cloud of Daggers, right? Well, if you click near your portrait, you can find a button with anything that you're concentrating on, and if you click, it's just gonna cancel the concentration. Here you see the Cloud of Daggers disappear. Number 13, there is a way to toggle hiding or sneaking for every character in your team at once, which is way better than having to toggle it individually. You can find the key binding for this at this location under actions just above toggle hide. You have toggle group hide. Number 14, you can set multiple items at once to another character, for example if he's your designated seller of items or mule carrier. Here you can select several items at once by control press clicking on them, selecting them all at once, or you can use the shift press click to select a whole row. Once everything is selected, just right click and you'll send to the character that you want. Number 15, you can use decor objects to block the vent traps. Here you can see that I just stepped on the stone like a moron, and as a result the vent trap just spewed some poison, gas, toxin thingy. And instead of having to disarm every single trap, you can just block the vents with heavy items such as a vase or a chest. In fact, this not only works on traps, but you can for example activate this mechanism with all kinds of contraptions. Just by putting vases here on the chairs, I'm able to open the door and complete it as a solo character. Number 16, you can use a mage hand spell to reach any object or chest that you could not otherwise. Here we are in the Tiefling hideout. We're gonna use X key binding, which is for throw. You select the chest and you just drop it to your team. And mage hand can also be used to activate, for example, buttons and levers that would be otherwise out of reach.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Number 17, your jumping distance depends on your strength stats, so the more strength you have, the further you can jump, and here I'm illustrating it with a funny jump from Emerald Road just right to Karlach. So you can equip jump boosting items, or you can use strength elixirs such as a Hill Giant Strength if you want to jump further. Speaking of traps and jumping, here's a way to avoid all of the traps in the annoying hacks lair. You just use Feather Fall either from a scroll or a potion, and you jump all over the traps and live the good life. Number 19, how to cheese the Grym golem fight. We've all seen the old bear from the top ropes, right? But here's a way to do it with a weapon thrower, which I consider really funny when you consider the distance the weapon's thrown. The key thing making this work is that with the weight of the weapon and the distance it's thrown, you're gonna have a lot of bludgeoning damage added to it. Here we do this with a returning pike got from the Goblin Comp Trader, which is really useful because it goes back to you after you've thrown it.
Nuclear launch detected.
I just think it's really funny to see your character just throwing this spear from so far away, and with the damage you're pulling off, Grym is not gonna last long. Finally, number 20, you can save the brain us in the intro and get it as a permanent summon later. It's pretty useful in fights, it has some nice stats and attacks, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but you can get it towards the end of Act 2. So here we are, I hope you found some of those useful. If you did, please consider subbing, sharing and watching some of my other World Gets Free content. I've got some fun stuff in there, hope you enjoy it and see you next time.